Hey, welcome back to Everyday Economics, a podcast that helps you learn about the economic world happening around you every day. I'm your host, Chris Krug, president of the 501c3 nonprofit, nonpartisan Franklin News Foundation. Everyday Economics is a production of America's Talking Network. You can check out all of our great podcasts at americastalking.com. We are recording today's episode on Monday, May 22nd. And joining me as always, my friend and colleague, Dr. Orphe Divounguy, PhD economist. Dr. O, there are a lot of people who, including me, I get it wrong a fair amount of the time, especially when I'm talking to you about things that you know far better than me and most people about recession. I would have guessed we would have been in a recession already. In fact, we were in a quote unquote technical recession at one point in 2022, as defined by quarterly losses or, multiple quarterly losses of GDP. But that seems to have straightened itself out and we're not in a recession. Why not? You said we weren't going to be, and I argued with you, and you were right, and I was wrong, and at least for now. But why have you been right so far?
I could be wrong again, right? I could be wrong this time, and you could be right this time.
I doubt it.
I know we're definitely not in a recession right now. I mean, you look at the labor market, 3.4% unemployment rate. People who want to work are working, and they're earning a pretty decent wage. In fact, wage growth is highest at the bottom of the income distribution for lower paid workers in services. This is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. It's a good thing. I think that when we talk about the need for inflation to come down, to moderate, we forget that it's a beautiful thing that Americans are working, that anybody who wants a job can get a job. I think it's a great thing. Now, with that said, we have this banking turmoil that, we experienced just a couple months ago. We know credit is tightening pretty rapidly. And that means that fewer businesses are having access to the funds that they need to continue expanding their operations. Households are being squeezed by higher credit card debt, credit card bills and credit card debt. And, rates, mortgage rates, all types of personal loan, all rates are increasing rapidly. And that's squeezing families and consumers. And because of that, I think a lot of people start to believe that the economy will likely enter a recession in the next 12 months. Look, 59% of economists surveyed by the National Association for Business Economics earlier this month said they believe it's more likely than not that the United States will enter a recession in the next 12 months. Yes. I mean, the economy is slowing rapidly. Right? It's slow. I mean, we were at 9% inflation back in June of 2022. We're down to like 4% core inflation. I mean, it's slowed down rapidly. Fed policy is extremely tight and the tightening has been swift, less than a year to 5 percentage points. So yeah, the economy is slowing. People cannot sustain this for very long, for very much longer. But the labor market still indicates that, as long as the labor market holds up, consumers will be okay. And so I think that's why I still think that, there's a higher chance of a soft landing, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, that there is of a hard crash. And it's nice to see that Fed Chair Powell is starting to talk about the balance of risks between not doing enough and doing too much. All right. It's nice to see that he's there, having that conversation, because doing too much, we know monetary policy takes a little bit of time, and doing too much could send the U.S. economy in a recession.
You and I have talked about Jerome Powell, as much as we probably with each other as we've talked about our own families over the last year. It's been fascinating to see the decisions that he's made, although there has been, really kind of a steadiness to this, right? Every time that the Fed governors have met, they've raised at least a quarter point,
And they told us they were going to do this.
They have telegraphed it. But I think so we were just talking about, about Jerome Powell and how he manages his governors and sort of the way that they communicate. You have to be paying attention. And you have to understand what the language means. But he has, for the most part, telegraphed every move that he's made. And then the market has adjusted to it prior to the announcement. And then when you and I talk about it afterward, you go, well, the market already had it priced in.
Well, the market didn't believe him at times, right?
That's absolutely true, especially maybe not at the very beginning, but shortly thereafter. When that borrowing rate moved up over 3%, then it was like, oh, this is real and this is going. And now we're at what, 5 to 5 to 5 to 5 and a quarter?
5 and a quarter. Yeah, 5 and a quarter.
Fascinating. What will get people's attention?
Exactly. Now the market believes everything the Fed chair is saying, and they're responding pretty rapidly. But yeah, last point, we got the debt ceiling issue, and that could be shooting ourselves in the foot if we don't get that resolved rapidly. And so that's on Congress to act on behalf of the people who elected them.
Orphe, always appreciate the insights. For Orphe Divounguy, this has been Chris Krug. Subscribe to Everyday Economics and dozens of other quality podcasts at americastalking.com.